What do you think's women's beef is with Kevin Samuels and Andrew Tate?
Well, I actually don't dislike Andrew Tate, you know? If anything, I probably like him more than I dislike him.
Do you think men and women can be friends?
Oh my goodness. Can you repeat that, please?
If I hear any guy talk about 50-50 on a first date, I already know he's a failure. Don't talk to me. If you're there getting out your little female purse, putting shekels on the table, does that look masculine to you?
I personally think if someone is on a dating app, they lack the confidence to talk to people.
When you are on the dating apps, you will lose because there's only probably 20% of guys that are actually getting any luck from it. The rest of them are just like, they're just collateral damage on the thing.
What questions should guys ask on the dating app to not fuck it up?
I hope my mum don't see this. But like, I've slept with a lot of girls that have had a man.
Oh my God, that's so
juicy. I'm on smoke. And okay, on your birthday, I'll take you there.
Okay.
Yeah. Guys, I always take girls where I want to go. Do you think it's fair that men care about body count?
Hey everyone, welcome to the Cilia Li Show. I'm your host Celia, and today, as you can see, we've got Dec back today. So, actually, introduce yourself just in case there's new viewers and listeners.
Sure. Yeah, so my name's Deptford. I'm a personal trainer. I was a dating coach beforehand, but obviously personal trainers got really busy, so I've been focusing on that. So yeah, I'm just here today just to give my opinion, share my opinion, and have a good conversation.
Yeah, on dating, yeah. And because you used to be a dating coach, that's why I want you to come back on, because I've been saying I need to get you back on, talk about your experiences and things like that. And you sent me a few of your old videos. And I want to talk about that because I think, well, we have similar opinions, but let's talk about it anyway.
Yeah. Some might just need to be clarified.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about online dating, right? Which is like apps and all those website dating things, right? Yeah. So I've never been on any of those. Never downloaded.
Why is that?
Because I said this before, and people disagree with me. You let me know your opinion. But I get it. But anyway, so I personally think if someone is on a dating app, they lack the confidence to talk to people. They have some sort of communication problem, right? I know, and some people say, "Oh, but it's not the case," because some said that it's hard to meet people. So I get that, but for me personally, I just think like it's like a barrier. Some people just don't have the confidence to talk to someone in person. So I think that it's easy for them to, oh hey, like,
of course.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then also
it takes away from going up to someone.
Exactly, and also me, because I'm a confident person. I need that. I need someone to show me that they're confident enough. And also, when you're on the app, let's say if you do talk online, whatever. You can't really tell what that person is really like. And I like to meet people organically and feel their vibe.
Yeah. So you look forward to the first date. Yeah. When you go for a first date, you don't know what's going to turn up.
Exactly. And so, for example, like, let's say in the gym. Actually, you know what? I say I haven't been on an app, right? No, actually, nor have I been on those websites back in the days when website was a thing. Right. But I just remembered actually now, when I was younger, do you remember when MSN was a thing? Did you have MSN?
No, I didn't use it at the time though, but I know about it.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so the Asian community, we also had this website called AsianAvenue.com. It's a bit like MySpace, right? But they're for Asian people, and literally you just create your own website, right? Yeah. And God knows why we used to do that, put all our details on just like a profile. But anyway, so then that's how I used to meet. We used to meet people there, but for just like networking, nothing like that. And then so eventually, obviously, I met someone there because I used to put my email address, so then people can add me on MSN. And this guy added me on MSN, and then we started talking, and then literally we were just like on MSN, was like, "Will you be my girlfriend?" Back then, it was so easy dating.
How old is you?
I was 15. Right. Yeah, so that didn't count. Like,
I'm gonna spare you.
Yeah. Anyway, so then I was like, okay. Anyways, but it was literally only for like 2 weeks, and met up like twice, went to cinema, held hands. That was it. And then I was just like, no, you know what, I'm dumping you. That was it. It's like, one of those young love silly stuff. But anyway, that's the only time that you can call online dating, I guess.
That you've been involved. So your take on that, so you said basically the lack of confidence, you're right. There is a lot of that. But I feel the reason why I went on it, I always used to think that's why I stayed away from it. Then when everyone was on Tinder, I was in a long-term relationship. When I came out of a relationship, I think it was about 2017. Yeah. I still wasn't on it. I was like, nah, that's a joke thing. Then afterwards, guys that I know that are 30 at getting girls certified were on it. And they were murked. And I was just like, what? And I was going through a stage where I weren't looking for a relationship because I just come out of a long-term thing. So when they were on it, I was like, all right, it's all go then. It's all go from here. But I think there is there is that, because I've gone on many dates and they seem off key. The women themselves seem off, and I can see, not respectfully, I can see why they're single. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Irrespective of how they look. So you do get some off-key people on there because they're on there single, especially if someone's pretty. You're like, how are you in your 30s pretty? Like, and on there, there's something, not all the time, because there's different situations. Because like my sister, she met her partner on a dating site. Not to put her business out there, she'll kill me, but she's always been college, uni, serious. So by the time she did everything, she was like 33, did like extra, she's an accountant. So she did extra. By the time she come out, she was in her 30s. So for her, time's ticking. She wants a family, that kind of thing. Wants to be serious. So it's not all the cases. You know what I'm saying? So, but we're just generalizing. So when you said that about guys and confidence, that that could be a generalized, and you do get a lot of that.
And because like, for example, like we both in a gym, and I know there are some like guys who look at me, but they never come approach me, which I get, because some people think, a gym is creepy, so fair enough. But however,
and girls put that energy out there as well. Yeah,
and however, they will then follow me, find me on Instagram, follow me.
Nah, that's dead.
And then after try to like me, try to interact, and then if say and they might DM me, say, oh, well done on this, oh, I like your content, things like that. And then because I reply, because I'm not a rude person, I reply saying thank you. And now because now you reply, guys think you're interested.
Yeah, you're stuck in between a rock and a hard place. When it comes to game, you're only as good as her minimal attraction. So she's got to have minimal attraction in the first place. Yeah, there's some guys that have just got it. I know guys that are big and overweight and he just got that charisma.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But not everybody's charisma or got game or these kind of things. But most people, they overdo things. So for me, I always tell guys, listen, just approach a woman and just introduce yourself if you've got nothing to say. Sometimes I'll have banter and I'll pick something and I'll be able to throw it in there and it'll be a hit or miss. You see what I'm saying? Number two, game is subjective. You could say the same thing to two different girls. One will rate it, one won't. And that's another thing as well. And also, as I said, it's dependent on how much she's got attraction for you. That plays a big part.
Talk about, so what did you teach
the guys?
Your guys about online dating? I was watching that video, it was so funny.
Right. So I said to them that
the few tips that you give.
Yeah, because I've seen, because obviously before I do certain videos, I look to see what other people are talking about, to see if we're on the same level, and I couldn't find nothing. It was just all this simp game, like say this and say this is the one comment that's gonna get. There is no one comment. You know what I'm saying? So I said, this is how I do online dating. Fuck whoever's got to say what. If I match with you, unless there's extremely high attraction, she's got to be my type on paper or something like that. Unless I visualize her as a 9, I let her reach out first. And before anyone says anything, it works. Now, women always say, well, I want a guy to reach out first. I get it. But when a guy does reach out, 9 out of 10, it just gets ignored. So, because I always say this, women say they don't chase men, they don't this, we'll get to that as well. But somehow women always know how to make it obvious when they like them.
Yeah, that's true. I agree
exactly.
With that. Yeah.
So when a girl wants something, there's no passion in the world like when a woman really likes a man. I don't business. And if you don't believe me, go to a concert and look how women go crazy when Drake goes on stage. That's all the evidence you need. So women can say certain things, but I'm never bothered about what women think. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I always tell guys this is my slogan. Don't listen to what women say. Just go by what you think as a man you should be doing. So, you know, a lot of guys, they try to appease to women, but I'm like, listen, just let her reach out. If she reaches out to you, the attraction is already high. There's 3 types of attraction: low attraction, medium attraction, high attraction. By her reaching out, she's got high attraction. And it's easy from there. The only job you've got to do is not fuck it up.
Okay. So I don't reach out to men. As in, obviously, I'm not online.
But on the street, different.
Yeah.
That's different. Yeah.
Even if, for example, like in a club or anything, you know, I would never walk up to go, hey, you're right. Like that.
Yeah.
I would never do that.
Yeah.
Never. Because I think, okay, some people would say because it takes away your value. Do you agree with that? If a woman like, approached you, moved to you, say, hey, my name,
I've had it. And
would you think that?
No, my guard goes up.
Okay.
Yeah, my guard goes up because I'm like, okay, that was a bold move. I've had it where a girl's done it. I'm thinking of someone now, and they did it so smooth, and it was so smooth. I was like, you've done this before on many occasions. Different if you was like the one guy and she said, you know, I have to just talk to him.
But do you find it attractive when a woman does make the first move?
Yeah, it kind of takes away from me doing it, if that makes sense.
So it does make it attractive. You do find it attractive.
It's not a closer
or
anything like that. It's not unattractive to the point where you're dismissed. But sometimes I like to be the one to say, because it's also as guys we like that challenge and we like that kind of pursuing.
Yeah.
Well, I do.
Yeah.
Guys that are.
That's what I believe. Guys.
Yeah.
What like the challenge.
Yeah. So when I was young, knockback would hit me a lot.
Yeah.
Because nobody likes a knockback, and I think people underestimate how that can make you feel, especially when you start. But when you get used to it, it's not that deep. It's like me and you are PTs. We walked the floor before. You walk up to someone, and some people are like, you know what, I'm not interested, and they might say it in a rude way, but you just blank that out. You just learn to blank that out after. Now, the first time you ever started, you'd probably like, rah, that guy was deep. You know what I mean? By the 100th time, you don't care no more. And that's why I tell guys, keep failing until you get it right. You know what I mean?
I like that.
Yeah.
It's like business, like in life. Isn't
it? It's the same thing.
What questions should guys ask on the dating app to not fuck it up? And not what they should ask and what they shouldn't ask.
So the first thing I always try and do is within 3 statements, try and ask her out. Don't let it prolong for 2 weeks and all the. I've got guys that are on there and they've been talking to girls for a month. I'm like, what are you doing? Meanwhile, she's dating other guys.
That's what I don't get. You know when people are like, oh yeah,
you're on there to date.
Yeah. When they like, I'm talking to this guy for a month. I'm like, I don't understand.
Now when I was young, I did that because I didn't know what the hell was going on. But as a big man, First one is introduction. Even because it depends on so many things. Depends on, because sometimes they comment. If it's Hinge, they might comment on what you're saying and stuff like that. So you might build off of that. But if it's like just random, that's out the gate, just introduce, hey, hope you're having a good day. I never ask questions like, how are you? I always do closed caption like, I hope you're having a good day, because that's small talk. It's respectable, but get the small talk out the way. You want to be respectable, but you want to get the small talk out. So don't do, hi, how are you? Because that just leaves it dead. You know what she's gonna say, I'm fine, so just leave it. So let's go, let's basically just say to her, listen, I hope you're well, hope you're having a good day. Up to anything, did you do anything good this weekend? That could be the first question. The second question, so what would you like to do for fun? So that way you're already thinking about the first date. Then the third date is, are you free on such and such date?
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
Live and direct.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do this, man.
Yeah. What questions shouldn't they not ask? Because you said something on that video that the question that they asked.
Remind me.
Okay, you basically said, don't be asking what's her favorite color like a waistman.
Right, yeah. But that's what I expect women to say. Women say that kind of thing. Not that per se, but things like that. Yeah, because guys just get nervous. It's like they're reading from a script. Yeah. And even when you're approaching women, guys, women are human beings. Like, they're not like these different creatures that from a different planet. But yeah, we think different. We have a different level of attraction, but just approach them. So when I approach a woman, I'm not even thinking about the end goal, as crazy as that sounds. So when I'm approaching a woman, I'm just making conversation. That way it becomes organic. Yeah. Then from there, through conversation, then you can even decide whether she even qualifies. Does that make sense? Because most guys are trying to, please, can I go on a date? Yeah. Talk to her and find out if she's for you. Okay. There's that side as well.
So how can someone know whether she's interested or not? Let's like on the app, because you said something about that she might be wasting your time.
Yeah.
So how can they find out that essence? So you said, first of all,
that's why the free questions.
Yeah, as soon as you match, I don't know how it works. You match or something.
Yeah.
You reach out first, or you wait for them to reach out?
It depends.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's my type on paper, or they've got something that they wrote about, I might, but generally I would say 1 out of 15 will reply. Okay. It's that low.
So then as soon as let's say you have sort of conversation starts, when do you ask to go out on a date? Like the same conversation, or do you
when they return texts, because some people get back to you straight away, some people get back to you 6 hours, which then rolls into the next day. That's fine. But when it starts getting long, like if it's gone like 48 hours and or 3 days or something, and you've sent one text and it's a bit cold, that's already low interest. And
should these texts they exchange should be a conversation, getting to know each other, or hey, straight to let's meet up and then get to know each other?
Well, it can be two things, and it depends. This one depends on the lady as well, because some people want to have a FaceTime call first, make sure you're not a catfish or nothing like that, or that you've got something in common. And, you know, when you have the first conversation as a guy, try and limit the conversation, try not to make it too long. That's what first dates are for. The first, if you do FaceTime, which I've done before, you heard that bit, or you call them first, then keep it to like an interview style. This is the only time I'd say interview style. So it'd just be like, siblings, all that thing. Because what you don't want to do on the date is talk about bullshit. And when I mean bullshit, you don't want to talk about that stuff. Oh, what do you do for your job? How many siblings you got? Oh, do you live with your parents? All this kind of stuff. That's cool on the first conversation. Your goal as a man on the date, if you like each other when you meet up, is to have that sexual attraction and flirt with each other and have flirty banter and all that kind of stuff. All the interview stuff, you can skip that. Just try and go with the banter and the jokes from there.
The FaceTime, so like if someone FaceTimed me in the early days, I think I'll be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's only if they want it. It's only they normally initiate it. I'm cool for just going on the date.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've had it. And I've had it when I matched in the morning and I must have replied, I had crust in my eye. And the girl was talking about, can we FaceTime now? And I was like, allow me, man. And I'm not even fresh like that. So I said, give me a couple hours. Yeah. So I've had that before.
Oh, so you're open to it?
Yeah, I'm open to whatever.
Cool. All right. Okay. Any other tips for online dating before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, photos, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's another thing. This is another thing why I don't like this online dating thing, because you are judging someone by the way they look. They can literally post
it's only visual.
Angle. Exactly.
Good point.
And for me, I'm a woman of substance, and I want someone with substance. So you're swiping because based on if I put like extra,
and it depends on what app as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not all of them are swiping.
Exactly. Where they swipe to a degree, but some have a little bit more about them.
Oh, okay.
So some might have a bio, some might have questions that you can feed off as well. But if it's like Tinder, it's very visual. And that's why there's something else I want to talk about later, is like the different versions of an alpha, because there's many different versions. And one version is upkeep, is how you present yourself, going to the gym, looking after yourself, doing all the things to make yourself look presentable to women. Yeah. Because when you are on the dating apps, you will lose, because there's only probably 20% of guys that are actually getting any luck from it. The rest of them are just like, they're just collateral damage on the thing, you know what I mean?
People just judging you by the physical.
Right.
Which I get. Physical.
Well, for guys, it's perfect. And the reason why it's perfect, because men are visual. Without that, I've tried it. I've tried to date a girl and she's got all the kind of things I'm looking for, but I'm not that attracted to her, because you're going to struggle to go to the bedroom antics. so it's not going to be that. So there has to be has to be a minimum level. Yeah. And I think I said this before, if I get an 8 or a 9, I'll blatantly take a 7 if she's got everything else that I'm looking. And by the way, that's not a disrespect thing. That's what I perceive. So everybody's perception is different. Yeah.
Because, for example, like when I say about the looks, because when a guy in person constantly just compliments my look, I get bored. I get bored. I'm like, okay, because the task is done. Yeah. And this is what I tell guys. So I'd always tell guys, don't pedestalize a woman. So see, the thing is in the relationship, one person always cares more than the other. Always. There's always that balance. As a guy, for the relationship to work, make sure you're not that guy. So, as in what? Don't care, be the one that cares more.
You can care, you can show it by your actions, but all this validation that you're doing and all this baby, you're beautiful and all this kind of thing, is that you kind of just killed the whole thing. Like, a girl could be really into you, and because she starts to think to herself, is he used to a girl like me? Like that kind of thing as well. So,
but the thing is, some women do like that. They like to be like, worship, my God, like he makes me feel like I'm the most beautiful one.
Yeah, that'll run dry though.
The thing is, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying my man shouldn't compliment me like.
But there's a different.
But in a different way, as in like not always have.
No, it's like, say for example, say I always see you in a tracksuit, and then all of a sudden you put on like a dress. I'm like, rah. Then that's different. Then you can say, right, you look good.
Yeah, every night you look bad today.
But then it means something. But if you're a woman can tell when you're just saying it just to get on her good books, as opposed to when it's genuine.
Yeah, exactly. But I would also be more like, it will warm my heart when you say things like, I'm so proud of you, all this achievement. Like you seeing the other stuff that I do, apart from just this pretty face, then I'll be, it means more to me.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. But okay.
Did we cover all of that?
I think so.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the second video you sent me was why girls don't like nice guys. So it's funny, when you sent me that video, I said to you just before, the day before that, I'm watching it, I was saying to my friend, it's not that I like bad boys, because everyone always goes to me, Cilia, you always like your bad boys. Or even just people say all girls like bad boys. So
but what makes them a bad boy?
Yeah, exactly. So what's the point of being a nice guy? So I realized the other day, you know what it is? Because basically it was really random. I was getting changed. I was getting ready. And this guy that I was seeing, when I say seen, basically we were seeing each other for a month. But we just literally just went a few days. That was it. But haven't even done anything. Not even holding hands, nothing like that. Yeah. But anyway. And but he was really nice. He was such a lovely guy.
Yeah, here we go.
All right looking, but I just was not attracted to him in any way. And I realized why. And then my friend, I said to my friend,
did he like masculine energy?
Yeah. So that's the thing. So I said to my best friend, I was like, at the time I was like, I just don't fancy him. And my friend was like, oh, Cilia, you're so ungrateful. He's so lovely. It's just because he's not bad enough. And I'm just like,
no, but I want to know how many people, because when girls say that, I'm thinking, would you go out with him then? To those girls.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I always say no.
But anyway, so at the time, I couldn't say what it was, why I didn't find him like attractive. I was like, it's not that he's too nice. It's not that he's too nice. It's not that he's not bad. It's not that. You
walk over him.
I felt like I felt like, because I'm really confident. I feel like he lacked the confidence when he's around me. I feel like he's nervous around me. So that's one of them, and I find that really unattractive.
Yeah.
But anyways, and then recently, I know it's weird. After like 2 years, then I realized why. It's like a realization. I know why I like these so-called bad boys. It's because all my exes and most of the guys that I've was seen for a while, they all have that alpha male. They were all alpha male, have that masculinity energy. He just didn't. He was just not. It didn't have the alpha male vibe aura to him. And I was just like, I can't.
Yeah.
So now this bad boy. It's not that I want a bad boy that's like selling drugs or gangster. It's not that.
But they have the one trait of an alpha that you like. They have it.
Yeah, exactly that. So this so-called bad boy is actually, I like my alpha male. And women are naturally attracted to the masculinity.
Yeah.
And a real man, I shouldn't say real man, but you know what I mean, a masculine man is naturally attracted to the feminine energy. In fact,
it works both ways.
Yeah.
It works. The more alpha a guy is, the more of a feminine woman. See, most betas, they're just happy, even because I've had guys, for example, that are clients, and I'll say to them, so do you want to sign up for the PT package? And they're like, I just need to ask the wife first. So I already know the dynamics of that relationship, because I'm like, okay, this is the beta male provider, but she controls the money.
Yeah.
So with guys and the good guy stuff, the bad boys tend to have that. So with me, going back into I used to be the good boy, but that probably stopped around 14, something like that. Because then what happened is I moved to my nan's, and my nan's live in Hackney, and Hackney was like Chirac back in the day. So I started moving with the bad boys, because a lot of my boys are in and out of jail even now. So for me, that rubbed off on me. So then I'm not going to sit there and say what I was, because obviously I'm a big man. I don't want to put that energy out there, but I was around it. So because I was around it, it rubbed off in each other, and I've never had a man take me for an idiot. So, and these guys are well-known guys. So for me, that rubbed off on me. So all of a sudden, I noticed a difference from between 15 and 18, and I started getting all these girls, but I used to come in like tracksuit halfway down. You'd never get me do that now. Oh my God. But my tracksuit was halfway down my ass, hoodie on, you know what I mean? So done some things I'm not proud of. And then I remember I went to college, and then it was just fire from there. So I was well known. So I had like bare girls into me. I'm just being real. And you know what's funny though? And this is how I first found out that girls don't like good guys. Because I thought I used to treat girls bad, because girls used to be like, right, what you want to do is come around and have sex. Because I come around at 10 o'clock at night and them kind of things. And I'd be like, oh man, shut up. So I remember, when was it? I remember I did this girl bad. I just told bare lies. I was like 20 and she was crying, bawling, mash up her head, everything. I was probably about 20 at the time. After that, I felt bad. So I said, from here on, and this is where I went wrong. I said, from here on in, I'm gonna be, if I can get all these girls and I'm moving mad, imagine how much girls, now this is where I'm wrong. Imagine how many girls I could get if I started being nice. My gosh, it was a downhill from there. It went downhill quickly. Okay,
when you said nice, what do you mean by nice though? Because I just want to say, there's nothing wrong with being a nice guy, but it's having...
I'll emphasize it.
Yeah.
So basically, what I started doing, if there was like for me, if I don't care if it's the first hour, the first date. If you do something I don't rate, I'm gonna pull you up on it straight.
Okay.
So whereas I would let shit slide because I'll be like, no, don't start an argument. It wasn't that I was a pussy, but I could see how I could come across like someone that's soft with it. So so I remember like little things like I just let shit slide. So they probably think, and I think so. I'm gonna put this out there. So if you're a girl and you know me between the years of 21 and 26, you probably be like, yeah, I can relate to that. So I would just let things slide, and it's no problem. They could do what they want, and then afterwards, it's not until afterwards I started not having it again. So when I was 26, I was like, fuck this. I got dumped. So the last time I've ever got dumped was 2006.
Yeah,
that's the last time I got dumped. And then after that, I said, fuck this shit. I went through a fuck all women. You know how it is when you come out of a relationship, you're pissed.
You were heartbroken.
Yeah, I was pissed.
Yeah.
And my ego as well. I was like, rah. And then my best friend said something. He goes, fam, you too old to be getting dumped, you know, fam. and those words have stuck to me to this day. I said, you know what, I am wavy. What's going on? I just went back to my old ways, but I didn't tell lies and all these kind of things. But it's about being real. And I think that's the difference is, see, a lot of bad boys, they have masculine energy because we have to. We're on defense. Even me, now, I still have traits of it because when I walk down the street, I'm thinking, what's this brother looking at? So I'm already on defense. You know what I'm saying? So I'll always have that element left. I just try to get rid of the toxic bit. I'm born again Christian, so I remember going to church when I was 29. But I'm on the roads. I've got my hat down, all of that hoodie on in a church, you know. And cause I just come off like, because even when I was working, I've always been like with the man them. So I've never been like, it's been one of them, even to this day. So, but when I see these soft youths just like begging friend with me, I don't know what it was. Maybe they've never spoken to our type of people. Yeah. Because the guys that are beta, they haven't been around that.
I think it's like a respect, like, they look up to you, sort of thing, innit?
But it's like even when I'm at the gym, there's bare guys in the gym and we just do that. Some of them aren't even spoken to them, but it's that mutual respect. Like you can just feed off that energy that, okay, this guy's real. Yeah. So, whereas when there's guys that are, hi, I'm like, yeah, man, cool. So I haven't got time for that. Yeah, and I'm a guy. Yeah. So I can only imagine what it is for a woman. You know what I'm saying? So I tell guys that, you know, there's nothing wrong in having the morals that you have. Yeah. You don't have to go through what I went through. Yeah. But have a little bit about you. No, don't be a yes man. Don't let, like, if I'm not asking you to be a bad boy, because if you got a bad boy, you remember when I was on the video, I said, if you got a bad boy there, good guy there, meet somewhere in the middle. You know, you don't have to be toxic or anything like that, but just say, listen, I don't rate that, or whatever the case may be, but have some energy about you. Think of someone in your family that's masculine and hang around them, get some tips from them, but don't continue being a simp, because that's what a lot of you guys are doing. Makes it easier for people like me, but I want to see people getting together and not thinking to themselves, because in one sense it does make it easier for us, because most girls think men are simps. They already got their back. I'm like, who are you? Even before you approach them. So, you know, just think about that. Yeah.
To be honest, like, even like, you know, you're saying like men are simps and things, well, some men. Even like, to be honest, it's the same with women, to be honest. It's like, don't make yourself too available. Be valuable. You know, things like that. I see it's quite similar, meaning they don't let the woman walk all over you. Same with the women. Don't let the man take the piss or be, you know, sort of control you. You gotta know your worth,
your boundaries.
Yeah, exactly. So I see it's both ways to be. It works both ways. So
yeah, it works both ways. Different, but it's both ways. Yeah. Because a man will still has to somewhat lead.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah. Like,
despite what some people might say.
For me personally, I love the man to lead. I love to just.
That's why I said we didn't get into it the last time I was here, but do you remember when we was talking, because there was just so much conversation going all over the place, when we was talking about the paying first on a date.
Oh yeah.
Like if I talk to 10 guys and all of them give me this 50-50 bullshit, I already know that they're a failure.
Oh my goodness. Can you repeat that, please?
If I hear any guy talk about 50-50 on a first date, I already know he's a failure. Don't talk to me. Yeah. So I'm not saying that again. I'm not saying that because I'm a trick or I'm a simp. There's certain things that you have to do as a man. And one of them is take control. Because at the end of the day, you can talk all this I'm a man shit, but if you're there getting out your little female purse, putting shekels on the table, does that look masculine to you? So you have to make yourself look masculine. At any given chance, make yourself look masculine. I'm not with all this trying to, because I'm telling you, you'd be lucky if you get a second date. Now, when you start to go out for a long time, and you're official, you can't do everything by yourself. It's good for a girl to chip in now and again to treat you and all that kind of thing. So, and also when you do, watch her attitude as well. So when you are paying for the date, I do like when a girl says, "Are you okay with it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got it." I like that question. It doesn't mean I want her to pay, but I just like the fact that she's thoughtful. So,
but what if she's just saying it because
she's got game?
Yeah, thinking you might want to hear that.
Yeah, I'll have to take that, but I'll work her out as the time goes down.
Okay.
That's just the first like tick, if that makes sense. So there's other things that you can work at the end of the line. You can see a certain attitude. Yeah. So I know, like from my ex, I remember I went on about the first 3 dates, and the fourth one she's like, "Look, you pay for everything. Look, let me take you this place." That kind of thing. It's a bit of give and take. Yeah. But it's like for every 5, I might get 1. That kind of thing.
Yeah. So same with like the guy I said that was too nice. That lacked the alpha side of him. Right. So he used to always pay on every single day.
Is he gonna see this?
I don't know. I don't think so. If he does, he doesn't it? But
you might learn a thing.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. So he used to pay for every single day, but it got to a point where I felt bad, and I was like to him, "Look, we went out for dinner. I said, look, let me pay for this dinner."
But it felt bad for the wrong reasons. But carry on. Yeah.
And I felt bad. I felt I was taking a piss.
Yeah, because you don't rate him as well, and he's spending his money.
Yeah.
And you'd also, but the thing is, you could feel bad if you like him as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it works both ways. But in that sense,
I think because at the time I knew deep down inside I didn't actually like him like that.
So that's because you had a low to medium interest to start with, and that's why I tell guys look out for high interest. It makes your life easier.
But I was trying to I was trying to give him a chance to see maybe I would eventually, when I get to know him, I would like him.
And it can happen. It can happen.
Anyway, so then eventually I did offer to pay, but he just wouldn't let me pay. He was like, no, I'll pay, okay, cool. And he goes, okay, how about this? Because I kept saying, no, let me pay. And eventually he was like, okay, how about this? When we go for shisha, you pay for shisha, but I'll pay for the meal. I was like, okay, cool, like that. So.
Oh, another thing as well, guys, is how you set up your date. So my first date is either 2 things. If I'm not sure of her interest, drinks, something basic, Shoreditch, something like that. Second date, for you to have a second date means that you both got on, not just you both. So the second date, then I'll go for dinner. A lot of guys are splurging on a first date way too early. And what you're doing as well, you're letting the girl know you're playing your cards too early. So if I say to a girl, imagine I've never met her and I'm on an app and I say, listen, I'm taking you Nobu. Like that's a madness. Like, yes, you might have the money to do that, but when you're leading with your wallet, a girl can see that. Most girls can see that, and you're only going to attract gold diggers. Yes,
to a certain extent, but for me, I'm not. I
can tell if you don't know her.
No, but still, I'm trying to tell you my experience. Like, I'm not a gold digger. So I met this guy, but then he's not for an app. He's from the gym. He texted me, so you know what? Let's meet up. Let's go for dinner or something. I was like, okay, cool. So, and I said to him, okay, I'll let you organize it. Now that's me testing him. Although as much as I liked him, I was want to know what he's about. So when I say, I'll let you do it. I'll leave it to you to organize it. Then I'll know like what kind of man you are. See how to organize you. But anyway, so then he took me to a really nice restaurant, like a really, really nice restaurant. Like he literally, because he likes food as well. So he ordered like pretty much half of the menu, and he paid for everything and things like that. But as I got to know him, I actually because I really liked him. Second day, he ran me round. He cooked me dinner, like a really luxury dinner and all of that. Papa made the effort making the starter, main, and dessert and all of that.
I would have done something slightly different. I'll come to that.
But bouquet of flower. But this guy, although I know he does all of that, but he's actually like a very masculine man as well. Comes from the road, but changed man now. Anyway. But thing is, he always spoke about money, value, always like by designer stuff, and I found that very unattractive. Got to a point where I was just like, is that all you're about?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So even if
now to a gold digger, that would be heaven. You see what I'm saying? So it depends on what you want. But yeah, some guys lead with external stuff. You got to lead with internal stuff. That's the difference. But some of the things that he did was good, and even like going for the dinner, it depends from person to person. So on a first date, I might even do bowling, but it depends on bowling or golf or something like that. Something fun or virtual reality or something like that. I'll do something fun. It depends on how I meet her. Like if I've been talking to her in the gym and then I ask her for a number, I already know her character, so I'm like, yeah, we already got banter already, so let's go out. So so there's different ways. Now I would go, now if we get on, then I would go for dinner on the second day or somewhere. But I always take girls where I want to go. So it's about, I said, look, I've got this place where I want you to come and join me. That's what I would say. So this is one of my top 3.
Okay.
And that's what I say. A lot of guys are appeasing, oh, where do you want to go? And again, that comes across very insecure in a sense, because it's like,
I think they're being considerate.
You can do it at different times. Like if it's your birthday, you can choose.
Okay.
But like,
nah, if it's my birthday, I want you to organize it.
Yeah.
Because
now, but if you say, for example, there's a girl and she's like, this is my favorite place, and okay, on your birthday, I'll take you there.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, generally speaking, I go where I would, because the thing is as well, you don't want to get taken for an idiot. There's girls that would just date you just because of where you're taking them. It's a free munch, and then they'll go get banged out by Tyrone afterwards on your carbs. So it's like, you don't want that. So I'm not saying it happens to every girl, but there is girls that do that. They'll go on a date and then link a next man after. So you want to keep your investment small, especially if you're dating a lot. So as a man, but I always go where I want to go. So that way I wanted to go there anyway, so I don't lose out.
To be honest, I like that. Reason being because, like I said earlier, I like to let the man take charge. So I would say, yeah, I'll let you organize it. And also for me, it's because I eat anything. I'm not picky, a fussy eater. And also because I know you're going to pay, I feel bad asking, I don't know where to go. Do you know what I mean? Because let's say if I want, I don't know, if I say I want to go to this place, you might not like it. And you might think, oh my gosh, she's...
Or the prices. It might be at the range of the guy.
Yeah, so I don't know what you're like. So I thought, you know what, I'll just let the guy take charge, and at least it's easier like that.
Another little trick as well is what I do is when I book a first date, if I'm doing drinks, for example, I'll get a table. I'm not talking about a champagne table. I just mean a table. So when you go there, you got somewhere to sit down. What you don't want to do is sit there like a waste man standing up and people, you're going back and forth because people are brushing your back and you're holding your drink like that. That's dead. I said, it costs about £10, bro. Just get a table, you both sit down. So, and then what you do is you send her the location and like a Google thing. So you normally get like an email as well. You might send that, but you just send her the link so she can click on it and then say to her, does this work for you? You already booked it, and she'll say yes or no. And it's always good to ask because she might have an allergy, she might have something as well. So there might be a justified reason why she don't want to go. But just say to her like, listen, does this work for you? And it will have the time. You don't even have to put the time. It's all in the link. So you've got that already. So
talking about like men paying, that sort of now leads to the next topic about traditional women.
Right.
So
we spoke a bit about that.
Yeah, so I'm a traditional. We said
somewhat
traditional woman because
you can't be traditional because think about it. I used to say that I want a traditional woman, but we're never traditional. And a woman, because we judge traditional by what? A woman that's in the 1960s. But I bet you she's a modern woman compared to a woman in the 1940s. And I bet you a 1940s woman is a modern woman compared to the woman in the 1920s. It's because we have inventions. We've got things that have been invented. You got to remember, 40 years ago, they didn't have mobile phones. So we have to adjust with the times. We move different. We've got more careers. We've got entrepreneurship. We've got so much things going on. So it's hard to have the same old thing because we're moving with the times. In 20 years from now, they're going to call us traditional. So it's you have to kind of move the tide. But what it gets confused with is compatible morals. Your morals have to be compatible. You can meet 5 nice people. It doesn't mean you're compatible. And I think that and I think that's the difference as well.
So what do you tell your clients about traditional women? Because you're saying the dangers of having. That's the name.
Yeah, because guys that are alpha guys generally tend to be more successful with women. Beta males generally tend to get used by women if they get women, and then they tend to be naive, and they live in this old-fashioned world. Because a lot of beta males, I have 2 things about their growing up. I can tell. I'll go into women as well, but there's 2 things about men, about the way they grow up, which shape them for life. Because every person that's born, every man that's born is born beta. It's developed through their experiences. So I've got a lot of men, big men in my family, guys that are serious, serious guys, carpenters, welders, plumbers, serious guys. So, and business as well, top level, corporate and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of guys either grew up with old people, like I grew up with my grandparents, but I was out on road. That's the difference. I wasn't inside. I was never inside. So now I'm old, I'm inside. But like, they either with old people or they've got their female dominated family. So they end up nice. They do little things like cross their legs and stuff like that.
Well, like this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That I find.
And some guys drop it smooth.
It's a little ick. It's an ick for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but like that's not my bag. So it's like so these guys grow up with a lot of female energy, and it always stems from somewhere. So whereas a lot of the guys that are alpha have that, or they grow up with a single parent mum, but because their mum couldn't control them, they was always outside. So there's that as well. So it's all about how their cloth. So with the beta males, as I said, they tend to be naive. So they're looking for a woman like their grandma. A lot of them are in the kitchen cooking with their grandma. You know what I mean? So there's that as well. That's not a bad thing. I learned to cook, but I wasn't inside. I was outside, but I learned little things. So the reason and the type of woman that they're looking for doesn't necessarily exist like that. Yeah. She might exist, but not in the Western world.
So if she does exist, let's say for example, this beta male goes with the traditional one, which is they probably don't even work, housewife, right?
But he'll be holding out for ages. That's the point, because they come a dime a super dozen. So it's like you can have somewhat traditional. Like for me, I'm looking for compatibility. I'm not looking for a good woman, bad woman, compatibility. None of us are perfect, and none of us are really that bad. It's like the guy that you dated, he's not a bad person. He just wasn't compatible for what you're looking for.
Exactly, yeah.
And I think we get caught up in this gender war where men are like women are shit and women are like men are shit, and that's because they don't take accountability. It all starts from you, because you attract who you are. So, and you attract others as well, but it's for you to use your logic and say, okay, who am I going to give my time to? So with the traditional, you'd have to go to like a third world country, remote, like with a hut or something like that, mud huts or something like that.
So you're saying alpha male won't go for a traditional woman?
No, they would. Well, the thing is, I've had a traditional woman before, like really traditional.
That wouldn't even work. That would expect you to.
Not that traditional, because my mum and my nan worked. Even though my nan worked in a factory, and it was a low paying job. She still did something. So from time to time. So, but her money wasn't needed. It just helped. So, but obviously in this time, the inflation's crazy. Two people have to hold it down. Do you know what I mean? And that's why when women talk about, my granddad was a provider, I never had to work. It's like, yeah, but that was a different time. You know, my dad's first mortgage was about £200 a month. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You know what I mean? So you can't, that's my council tax. So, it's a different time. So two people generally, unless they're earning exponential wages, they both had to contribute. I've been out with traditional before. That's what I was saying. Yeah. But it was good at first, because I'm like, okay, this is refreshing. Yeah. It got boring real quick.
So how was she, explain
how was she traditional? Okay. So yes, she worked. She had a good job. She was very intelligent. She had her masters and everything like that. She worked for Barclays, corporate job. So that was cool. But she's very feminine, which I like. But she was always like to stay home, always like to cook. So at first, that's great. She loves to cook, got her cookbook, cooking, staying at home, watch Netflix, and everything like that. When it came to going out and doing things.
You lived together and everything?
Yeah.
So she like did housework, all of that?
Yeah, I've never come home and my food has not been ready.
Oh, okay.
But that's before you ladies jump to conclusions. That's not me telling her that she's got to do it. Yeah. She wanted to do it. So thing is, at the time we got a really nice flat. Yeah. Because we was living in Canary Wharf. And we put that together, and she lost her job, and then I covered the bills until she got sorted. And then, but when we got this place, she was like, you know what, I know exactly what I want to do with this place, type of thing. So I ended up paying most of the bills, but she liked to look after. Every time she came home, the first thing she would do is take off her clothes, clean, and then we had the gym downstairs. She'd go to the gym downstairs and then come back up, and then she'd phone her family abroad, because she wasn't from London, and but she would always text me and say, let me know what time you finish work, because then she used to time it. So when I come through the door, my food was ready. And this is, as I said, this is not me telling her what to do. This is what she wanted. Yeah. And I would get up to go to the fridge, and she's like, where you going? It's me, get a drink. And she'd be like, no, and she'll go and get it. I never had to lift a finger in my own yard.
Wow, she's treated like a king.
Yeah, that was the good side. The bad side is that, I'm as traditional as I think I am, I'm tainted. You know what I mean? So I like a freaky girl. I like so many different things.
Say that.
Yeah, there's other things that I like, and I'm not saying, and that's where it gets a bit hard.
So wait, so then you saying, because obviously, that's another thing. I think traditional women, basically back then, because sex back then it's always been.
It's just a breed.
Yeah, like just like, oh, don't talk about sex. Like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So does that mean that she?
And we didn't go out a lot. She wants to stay home. Like even if we went out, she goes, "Oh, can we go home now?" And it's like there was no like, let's go out and have some fun and do some crazy shit. Like sometimes you need to let loose a little bit. And there's only so much in the house you can be doing. And I noticed I was getting, without working it out at the time, I was getting a bit depressed. Bit strong word, but I was just getting a little bit down because I wasn't. When I was working in Canary Wharf, living in Canary Wharf, and I'm like, I ain't left Canary Wharf in 6 weeks. And I clocked it, and I was just like, nah, something's got to change. Okay. But she's very homely, which is good. But in modern times, I want a bit of both, a balance. Not saying I got to be out here raving, but just like,
I know what you mean. Yeah. Spice up, like basically that fire. Like you want to spice up the relationship, basically.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. What other? Actually, you know what? I've got a question for you. So,
talk to me,
guys. Got a special announcement. So me and Dec are going to be starting a brand new podcast. It's called a Swipe Right Podcast. And from the name, you probably can guess what it's going to be about. It's going to be about dating, relationship. And it's going to be out on the 3rd of September, weekly episode. And Dec, what are you going to be doing? Why are you on it?
Well, basically, I want to stop men from simping. That's first and foremost. I also want to teach men the importance of masculinity and the importance of self-improving and no more whining. So that's going to be every week at Sunday at 9 a.m.
And me, I'm just obviously going to be the woman, going to help women to sort of embrace their femininity and honor themselves as a woman. So basically, dating and relationship advice, basically. Yeah. And talk about interesting topics, controversial topics. It'll be fun. It'll be entertaining.
Definitely.
It will be educational.
And we want to make sure as well that we're going to be talking about a varied amount of topics as well. So a lot of the stuff we're going to be agreeing on, but at the same time, there's going to be lots of stuff that we're not going to agree on. And that's the one that's going to keep it spicy.
Yeah. All right. So that's it. Anyway, let's get back to the episode. One of my ex, we've been together for 9 years. He is, at the time, like, I was, obviously, for me to be with him nice because obviously I was in love with him and everything. Yeah. He was literally, I said to people, he was actually my dream man.
Going into it? Going into it or afterwards?
No, like just like in general, like when I met him, when I first met him, I was like, damn, like alpha male, like he had that masculine.
I want to come back to that as well.
Yeah, and it's like, I always say to people was like, oh, I like men because he guys has that look, like that look in them, and he has that, and then
that's called the sexual alpha.
Okay,
I'll come to that.
Okay, and then that he just everything about him was very manly and masculine and like, alpha, and after breaking up with him, he basically set the benchmark really high. So there's no way I would go for a guy that is like that's not man at all. But anyway, my point is, although he was an alpha male, so when I broke up with him, he was so heartbroken that he actually turned about a week later. He actually phoned me and said, "Can we be friends with benefit?" And he did cry when we broke up as well.
That was the worst thing to say.
Yeah. So what do you say that? Because alpha male, I mean, at the end of the day, I think alpha male are still human. So
yeah, no, you can fault. Like, I would never say, and this is another thing as well. There's things that I do and I catch myself and I'm like, why did you say that? Yeah. So even though I said to you, like, I don't sit there and over compliment women. I've done it once, but I caught myself. There's nothing wrong in catching yourself. You're gonna make mistakes. There's gonna be, when you approach a woman, you're gonna say certain things that come out the wrong way. But you catch yourself. But some people don't. They just go full throttle and carry on. And the thing is, you broke up with him.
Yeah.
So in 2006, as I said, that was the last time someone broke up with me. I got her back. But I got her back later. Now, when I broke up with her...
What do you mean you got her back? Like revenge?
No.
Oh.
We got back together.
Oh, you got back to... I thought you got her back.
Later on down the line, a couple of years later, because this was before Facebook come out, and then before it was popular, around 2007. So after that, she found me on there, and then we started talking, then we met up again, and we started going out. So, but I remember when we broke up, I was obviously feeling it, and then my best friend was like, you know what you need to do, fam? You need to phone her. You need to tell her this X, Y, Z. And that weren't me. And I was like, nah, man, I'm just going to leave it. You know what I mean? So
tell her that
I want her back and all this kind of thing. Yeah. But I always tell guys, when a girl breaks up with you, walk away. That's the only way you can attract her back. Because she will see that, trust me, she will see that energy of rah, he's just gone. Because she's halfway expecting it. There's nothing that you can say or do. I've never seen a man fight for his gal and get her back.
Okay.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen completely, but rarely. Every time I've got, well, it hasn't really happened after that, but in general, when I've spoken to my friends, so I've given advice. That's the best way of saying it. So I've given advice to guys, and I said, listen, bro, I know you're itching to phone her and text her. Don't look at your phone. Put ghost her on Instagram so you don't see her pictures because you don't want that going over your head. I said it's gonna be hard. I told my client that the other day. He knows who he is. I'm gonna tell him to watch this, and he's gonna spud me for this. And I said his girl broke up with him, and that's what you know what it's like. His girl broke up with him, and he said, I need to change. So that's when he saw me as a personal trainer. I've only been training him 2 months. Yeah. And I was giving him advice. I said, you know, I used to be a dating coach still. He's like, really? Then after I just coached him through. The girl's on his nuts. You know what I mean? Wow. She's on him because fear breeds attraction. The fear of losing someone, because it gets real. The moment you don't hear from someone, like, rah. Yeah. It's a bit weird now. I'm used to this. I'm used to... She starts realizing all the things she misses while you're not contact, but she can't think about. You need to give her time to think. A woman breaking up with you is like a woman finding space to actually think. All she knows now is that, look, just give me some space. Yeah. That's kind of what she's secretly saying. And it could be other things as well. It might be someone else in the picture, but that's another story. But if we're just thinking about, because most of the times women break up with men when there's someone else, when they're thinking about someone else in the picture as well. And their relationship at that moment is dry. It's very rarely that a woman says, you know what, I just want to be single out of nowhere. Yeah, that's true. Because women value companionship, and for them to let it go is a big thing.
You said something about, you could comment on sexual alpha.
Right. Yes. You want to go through that?
Yeah.
So I wrote some notes. I got the notes.
It's serious.
Because the thing is like, as well, the worst thing a guy can do is if a girl says to you, what do you think you're alpha? Because as a dating coach, I get that a lot. Yeah. They'll say to me, do you think I'm alpha? And I say it's not up to me, it's up to the consumer. So the woman's the consumer, because you can get one guy and one girl will look at him as alpha, the other won't, whatever reason. It's your choice, it's the consumer, it's the person that's buying into. It's like, and you can't force it. Like you never hear, a real bad boy doesn't need to say he's a bad boy. Okay. You just know by his energy. When he walks in the room, you just, okay, this boy is on things. Yeah. You know what I mean? So the one that's barking, I'm a bad boy, is the insecure one.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's like macho,
overdoing it.
Oh, I hate those.
Yeah, but they're begging it. Because if a real guy put it on them, all of a sudden they'd go into their shell. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. So it's the same thing with alpha. You don't need to shout about it. Yeah. A girl will pick up on it and be like, okay, there's something about it.
Just quickly piggyback on that. So some guys from the gym, right? Yeah. Again,
all from the gym, yeah?
Well, you work in the gym, what do you expect? Yeah. But anyway, so he followed me on Instagram, and then some obviously saying, oh, I like your content is good, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, fast forward, and then he was like, I said to him, oh, I didn't realize he was from the gym. He goes, oh, I said, you from the gym? He was like, yeah. I was like, blah, blah. He's trying to explain that the incident when he saw me. I was thinking, I didn't even pay attention. I don't even know who you are. Right. But anyway, and he goes, oh, and I said, oh, my bad. I'm really bad with faces. And he goes, this piggyback on begging it. And he was like, yeah, if you see someone that's bald, a perfect beard, and look like a thug, that's me. And I was like,
yeah, no, that's dead.
Yeah, I'm just like, dead. You think you look like a thug? Who says that?
That's dead. That's dead. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you could write, as women, you could write novels about the different approaches you've had from men. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and say every approach I've had has been thing, but most of those schoolboy era things was done at the start. You know, when you're first starting out.
Oh my God, I did tell you this one thing before you get to that one. This was ages ago. So I remember I was crossing the road around Covent Garden area. Anyway, I was in a rush. So I was crossing the road, and as I crossed the road, I hear someone go, excuse me, madam. So I turn around, and this guy's like running after me. So I thought I had dropped something. So I'm like, I was like, yeah.
You was running.
Yeah, cause I was power walking, right, but when he goes, excuse me, madam, I turn around and see him sort of like jogging after me. Right. So I turn around thinking, I was like, thinking I dropped something. And he goes, I saw you across the street. And as soon as he said that, I was just like, oh my God. So I just went, yeah, so did I. And he just went,
yeah, you just stumbled him.
Yeah, and then I just turned around and continue walking. I was thinking, oh my God, how?
You can't chase a woman. You can't be running after a woman like that. It's gotta be
and saying, I saw you across the street. Like, what kind of line is that?
Yeah. If I saw a woman power walking, that is not the time. She's going somewhere.
Yeah.
She's going somewhere. So her back is already up. You can't stop a woman. And these are the things that a lot of guys don't think about. And this is why I'm trying to do my channel at the time, because it's like, guys, if you see her rushing, leave her. Let's let her go back to business. Let's take it as what it is. Now, if she's taking her time walking through, or she's glancing through the window, perfect time. You know what I mean? Because she's not on things. But she's obviously a woman going about her business.
Anyway, go on.
Should I go for it?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so I rate, how many have I got? I think I've got 7. I thought it was 8. So, because...
Oh, that type of alpha males?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because there's different types, and women are attracted to different types. You see the same way you've got love languages and stuff like that. Yeah. There's different types of alphas and different levels of attraction. Right. So when people say, oh, this person's not alpha, maybe they're not alpha in the way that you perceive or the way that you're attracted to. So the first one is a guy that's good looking. So he's going to be, it's not all cases, because he could be a goof. But I think you know what I mean when you say naturally good looking, that type of guy, pretty boy and all that. And
I don't like pretty boy. I find that
I was going to say that. Pretty boys, I was telling someone that the other day, because I used to be like that. I used to have waves and all these different things and patterns in my head and all that. But you know what it is? It worked. You know why it worked? Because it was a different era. And a lot of guys are stuck in the 90s R&B era. You know when I keep saying them R&B boys? Yeah. Because them guys are stuck in the R&B era. We've moved on now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
I'm not going to lie. I did like the R&B, like guys, like Genuine kind of thing. Like.
Yeah. But that worked then. That swag now looks raw. You still on that? Just like me playing house and garage now and blasting out my car. That's just a waste for me. You know what I mean? So it was good back then. It's like all these back to 95 rays. I don't want to go back to it. They're washed up people. So, but so that sweet boy thing was good. But yeah, you can just be a cool look as long as you're presentable. And then you work on, so being in good shape is going to count for that. So that's the first one. The second one is what we was talking about. You remember when we was talking about the guy that walks in the room and everything like that? He's got a presence about him. But there's also, see, alpha changes as you go through different ages.
What's this one called?
So this one is the cool and calm alpha.
Cool and calm alpha, okay.
So this is my example. So a character, so I always say 2 people, you're going to laugh. James St. Patrick and James...
Ghost, if you watched Power, yeah.
And James Bond. Apart from when he's with his wife, he loses his temper. That's him going in his beta, funny enough. When he's actually shouting, because a man is always supposed to be calm. Guys, when a woman shouts at you, walk away. That's the highest level of attraction you can have. So if you engage in it, now you're in your feminine, but now you're arguing over whatless stupidness. It shouldn't even get to that stage. So when one person's shouting at you, the other person has to be calm. 2 volatile people, that's creating a toxic environment. Another thing I always test out people, I'll come back to this, is when I'm dating someone and they say to me, oh yeah, my last relationship was so toxic. What they're really saying is that they both was toxic. Because it takes 2 people to be toxic. So if you just have an argument, see, I've been with girls and I've had an argument and then I've broken up. Yeah. Now, if I'd stayed in that relationship, because of that ongoing volatile business, then it becomes toxic. But a guy who's logical is always trying to find a reason. So when a girl's like, listen, why are you upset? Talk to me. That's what I want to do when someone is angry. I don't need to say, who are you talking to like this? But unless she's disrespecting, that's different. Yeah. If she's crossed the line. But if she's just like, you get a girl, maybe she's a bit moody in the morning or something like that, and I don't penny her. But like before, I used to be vexed. I'd be like, why are you waking up? Now I just say, do you want a coffee? And then by doing that, and by the time I come up with coffee and I would say, look, that's you. She's like, oh, that's cute. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's done everything. But the thing is, I always say to guys, you see what you just did? Would James Bond do that? And they'll be like, nah. So when they do certain things, so when guys are acting like simps and all the things, I'm saying, would James Bond do that? Because James Bond was cool. The girls were chasing him. And when I say chase, he didn't have to, he wasn't pennying them. You never saw James Bond in a film like, boy, I wonder if that girl's going to be about later. You know what I mean? He just lived his life, you know what I mean? And had his purpose. He lived his purpose and the girls were attracted to him wherever he went. So all about being cool and calm. I even put Bruce Lee in there, if you know about martial arts, because in his films, he was always calm. You never seen him angry. That's true, you know? And that's an attractive trait as well. It goes under the radar a lot, but it's actually, once you get to know a guy, that's one of the most attractive traits. That's what keeps a relationship. Then there's the other guy, the guy that's, so if it was in school, it's the guy that was popular, funny, the class clown, athletic. It's the guy that stood out. So clout is another thing as well. Mini celebrity, Yeah, performers, things like that. People that everybody knows. Because so they might not be alpha, but because they're well known and they got a bit clout, or everyone, or it could be at school, as I said, they tend to be, because girls like guys that other girls are interested in. And that's a big thing as well. So when girls say to me, I just like, no. Because if no one else liked him, you'd be like, right, what's wrong with him? So girls generally like guys that other girls are interested in. Talk to me.
That one though, yes and no.
Not like on a player thing.
Right, because like I like.
Because let's be real, a lot of girls like James St. Patrick.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is like, I have liked a guy before where he's so cool and calm, where girls wouldn't pay attention to him. Right. But because he's so he keeps to himself so much, and he has this alpha male like energy to him. I find him really attractive. But I'm not saying that no other girls like him, but it's not like, oh my God, look at that guy. It's not that kind of guy. But cool. So I do.
Yeah. There is those ones.
Yeah.
But did you notice that straight away? Or did it take time as you got to know him? What?
No, that not many girls like.
Yeah. Well, in the sense of like that he was calm and all this kind of stuff.
I could tell because when he walks, when we enter the room.
I'll give you an example. So if me and my boys we used to go out clubbing.
Yeah.
Unless I'm drunk. If I'm drunk, I'm a showboater. But like if we go raving, my brethrens would be in the middle. So all my brethrens are tall. I'm 5'10", but all my brethrens are 6 foot, 6'5". So like I used to notice, 'cause I'm very observant of how we all do things. I knew from then that I was going to do this. So they're more like that in the middle of the dance. Everyone sees them. As I said, a lot of the time I was drunk, but a lot of the time when I'm just calm, I'll just be talking to a girl at the bar or on the side in the corner. You see what I'm saying? So everybody's kind of different, but we can be the same masculine, but it's projected in a different way. You see what I'm saying? So the next one is the intellectual alpha. It's the guy that draws people in by the way he talks. It could be game, but not necessarily. It just be that he's intellectual. So the people that I think of mind is, Akala. You don't know who he is? He's Miss Dynamite's brother. Okay. So basically he talks about like woke stuff and stuff like that. So
yes, I do know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So people, I always think he's a good example. I think is older, probably not the swag, but Barack Obama. He's a good speaker, public speaker. Like people are drawn to people that talk sense and can speak. So the next one is the business alpha. This is the one who's made it, or he's ambitious and he's working on it. He's got some kind of purpose. And you can feel that energy. So when you talk to him, you ask him, so what are you doing? He's passionate about what he's trying to achieve as well. So that's the business alpha. And he tends to be very assertive, and he's got a very boss feel as well. Like he hasn't got time for stupidness because he's focused on his ambition as well. The other one...
Is that avoidant then? Can you tie that in the detachment style? For example, like the business person, because he's so ambitious and into his business. Like, the avoidant, what's that again? For anxious and all that attachment stuff. Do you know about them?
A little bit.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking, it just made me think of that, like when someone is into their business.
I think that could be another side of it.
Okay.
But probably not in every situation.
Okay.
Next one is the social alpha. That kind of ties in with me and my friends. But I've got one particular friend that was good at that. He's the type of person, he would talk to every girl in the club, have them in stitches. He's actually a well-known comedian, but I'm not going to name drop. Okay. But he will chat to everyone, the guys, everyone that was script, and then he won't even come out with a number, but he will have them like putty in his hand, and he's just a natural networker. Okay. He's just one of those people, just get on with people of all walks of life. The next one you probably can relate to is the sexual alpha. Yeah, that's the guy that's got game, and he tends to be, because game is not something that everyone can have as well, because game is gift to the gab. So not everyone can be blessed with the gift of the gab. The same way not everybody can be funny. It's the same kind of thing. Yeah. So if you've got that in your thing, then that's a good look. So guys that got game know how to talk to women, know how to seduce, have a high success rate of taking the panties off. That's what I got here.
The sexual alpha, actually, my ex I wouldn't call him a sexual alpha, but he just had that looks like that alpha. That's what I found sexy. Yeah. If he has he got game? I actually wouldn't say he's got game, actually.
Yeah. I think that might be the one before. So they just have that feeling, and you walk into a room, like you just pick up on the energy. Yeah. But it's no different when I'm in the hood, And as I said to you before, or even when I'm at the gym, I relate to people that are from that kind of that cloth, that life. So when I see them, it's just kind of that mutual respect. It's like, yeah, cool, cuz. So it's just one of those. So there's that as well. So yeah, from a guy point of view, I understand that as well. The last one. Oh, so this is the last one.
Another one.
But this one is rare. So this one is the through and through alpha. This is the one that has all of these qualities.
Yeah, but you know what I was going to ask you? Can you have a bit of everything?
Yeah. So another thing as well, you know, when we talk about self-improving, let me put that here actually. It's very vague. It's like, oh yeah, just self-improve, be the best version of yourself. If you follow that and you try to be the best version of all those things, as a guy in the dating world, we're just talking about dating, in the dating world, that's going to set you far, because now you're going to work on those 7 things and try and be the best version. See, a lot of guys, they might have 1 or 2. There's even beta males that might have 1 of those. But there's guys that only have like 1 or 2. But what you want to try and work on is having all of them as much as you can. Then the girl's going to see you, okay, this guy's different.
Did you come up with that, all that? Oh,
I got 1 or 2 from other people.
Yeah,
but,
that's like one of those quiz online. Take this quiz to see what kind of alpha.
Yeah, I tried to think of 10 and I was stuck. You know what I mean? So I got 8.
You should do that.
In the comments, if you can think of any other reasons, put them down as well.
Yeah. Any other notes that you want to? Any questions for me? In fact.
Yeah, let's go for it. All right, then let's get to it. What do you think's women's beef is with Kevin Samuels and Andrew Tate?
Oh my God, that's
went
some
juicy.
juicy.
I'm on smoke. I told you about the gloves. Go
yeah. The beef. Okay, I think we said this before. It's the delivery.
Perfect. Well done.
Yes, 100% the delivery, because they're so aggressive. Because of the way they speak, the tone, they feel attacked.
Because they're pro families.
Yeah, and like if you think. I was having this conversation with my guy friend. I was like to him, you know what? I actually don't dislike Andrew Tate. You know, if anything, I probably like him more than I dislike. And he was like, what? Really? I'm like, yeah. And then I said, I think it's his delivery. And then after my friend was like, yes, because let's say, for example, someone goes, oh, that plant is green. Someone can say, that plant is fucking green. Like it's like that. And it's like, what's the difference? It's the same. You know what I mean? Like that. So I was like, yeah, that's a good example. But I think, that one is the delivery, and they feel because of like that, they feel attacked. Yeah. Also, although I actually never knew who Andrew Tate was until he got arrested. And after he got arrested, then his stuff started popping up. And because of the stuff that I talk about, you know, how the algorithm works, I actually see the stuff that he's on is always talking about about women. So when women don't know how they don't like Andrew.
It's because, you know what it is? Because they get soundbite. Same with Kevin Samuels. So they'll get a minute clip.
Yeah.
And then get pissed off. Because I did that.
I never understood why they like him, yeah.
Because you see like how I talk in this, talking now, I bet you there's a lot of women, unless they're absolute like anti-man or whatever, a lot of them would be like, you know what, he's making some good points. Whereas like if you took a soundbite and there was no clarification or nothing behind it, it could get taken the wrong way.
Exactly, yeah. So, but then there's the ones that popped up for me was actually the ones he's actually talking highly of the women. Yeah. So I was a bit confused, thinking, I don't know why people don't like him. But then I saw some where he did say, like, for example, which we spoke about, it's wrong for women or something like to be in the club. Don't be expecting to find your husband in the club because no one's got a wife. Things like that. But I just feel like, come on now, like.
But you know, but I know what he's trying to say. So what he's trying to say is, again, saying it differently, is nobody wants their wife to be in the club 24/7, like constantly be in the club.
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't want my man to be in the club 24/7.
Yeah, because that's what I've had a girl like that, and I was like, nah, not for me, especially at my bigger age. So you can go to something like if you've been invited, look, I've been invited out or whatever, I'm going out, cool. But someone who's actually a raver or someone that goes on raving holidays and all these kind of things, that's not what a guy is looking for. So it's the consistency.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, also people don't get triggered now. Like I think it's just different opinions, to be honest with you.
It's compatibility.
Some men may like their women they might like to go raving their women all the time.
Yeah.
You know.
But you know when we was talking the other day and we was talking, I brought up I was trying to think of a question and I said, oh yeah, secondary traits. Yeah. And then it went, and you remember when I said you answered it well. Now I can't remember what you said, but you said it concise. So when I was a personal trainer and I was working in Third Space, we wasn't just personal trainers. All of us had a niche. Yeah. So when people used to talk to me, there was about 5 of us. I was a body transformation expert. Now there's 50 PTs, but one guy might be a physio, One guy might be functional training. One person, she might specialize in women and losing weight or pre and postnatal and all these kind of things. But like, you know, when you said what you said, it was concise. Now, there was a guy, I remember he started, so I said, oh, what's your speciality? Because that's what I used to say when anytime you, and he's like, oh, well, it's a bit different. He talk about, after about 30 seconds, I cut him off and I said, bro, you don't even know what you're doing. How can you sell something and you don't know what it is? It's taking 30 seconds. You don't even know. He's just going all beating around the bush and everything. Now, respect to the ladies that were here, but it went on for, the list was long. It went crazy. And I was just listening because I was going to chip in, but I didn't get a chance because of obviously all the things. And what I wanted to say at the time was, your lists are crazy. So your list, if I was to narrow down their list and I was to go on Google and I was to get a percentage of everything they wanted, it would probably be 0.5% of the male population. And that's not realistic. And that's nothing bad. That's not a diss to them. Guys are unrealistic too. We all have unrealistic views. It's only because I'm switched on, because I do the dating, I find out all this information. And when you're talking about someone who's 6 foot, that's 20% of men. Then you're gonna say 6'2", that narrows it down. Then you want someone with a 6-pack, I think 8% or something. It goes before you know it. And the thing is, when men say what they want from a woman, and when a woman is different, women tend to say their ideal man. And because if I said my ideal woman is gonna be Beyonce, but come on, let's be realistic. So it's and I can't. So I have to be realistic into my surroundings, my geography. So it's all about, guys will say their minimum. When you ask a guy, well, he's just like, listen, man, I just want to get with that smiles, man. You know what I mean? That's it. Basic. Some pum twice a week and I'm good. So, but with a lot of women, they go for their ideal. And the guys that they're meeting don't live up to that. But they're guys that are compatible with them. That's the difference. So there's that as well. Oh
yeah, so what I said basically, primary, which is the physical of the traits, and I said yes, it does matter, but however, if the secondary trait, which is the substance, things like that, if
you can override it.
Yeah, we connect the physical for some, the things that I did not find him attractive, would not unattractive, as in like that bothered me in the beginning. For example,
become a small thing.
Yeah, become like, I don't care because now I'm just so attracted to you as a person. The inside. That's what I said.
Yeah. Good. I tell guys to work on their first and secondary traits.
Yeah.
That's the thing as well. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what else.
Let's do one more.
I think men and women can be friends.
I think they can.
Yeah?
Do you?
No.
Okay.
I think to a degree a woman can, because you can keep it platonic.
Yeah, 100%. I think,
because I wanted to talk about a thing called body count as well.
I think men and women can, but for some reason, I feel like, as you said, like men, for some reason, when you start being nice to them, they start being thinking, oh,
there's that.
Yeah,
but I think generally, it can't run. There's always somebody. It can be the woman as well, but there's always somebody that wants more out the deal. I think you can be acquaintances. I think that but there's boundaries that you have on a friendship, because because I could go to my brethren's on a Friday night and play cards or whatever, or go out to a bar or something. But I could turn up there at 10. I know they're going to be there on a Friday night. That's their thing. I know they're going to be at my brethren's yard or one of my brethren's. Like a Friday night thing, it's optional whether I want to go, but it's there. So they'll be playing dominoes, whatever the case. A woman can't do that.
Yeah, but like,
because if a woman comes to my yard at 10 o'clock and taking the Henny out the cupboard, so it's got to be a different vibe altogether.
That's if you find them attractive, though. What if you don't find them attractive? Because let me say something. Like my parents, right?
Go on. It's going to be a quick beat. That's what I was going to say. Go on.
I was thinking with the dick. Yeah. No, but like my parents.
But that's how I mean think.
Yeah. So this is a lady who used to work. So me and my parents used to have a restaurant, and she used to work for us, and then became friends with my parents after she left. Anyway, so my mum obviously knows her, and my dad knows her as well. Both their friends. So when my dad, she's moved to Hong Kong. But
I know what you're going to say, and I've got that as well. Yeah.
So when my dad went to Hong Kong for holiday by himself, he would meet up with her like alone, and then they're like, it's cool. My mum's cool with it. He would put it on Facebook. My mum and people was like, Cindy, my mum, are you okay with your husband meeting with her alone? She was like, yes, that's my friend.
Yeah. So I've never seen that.
Okay. So I grew up around that.
Yeah.
I grew up when my parents, the trust is different, where some people are like, what? Like, see, your parents do that?
Any girl that's not my blood, I probably see them as family. So there's girls that I know, like I call them home girls, but I've known them since I was like 11. Like it's family. They know my mum, this, that. Nothing could run.
Yeah.
There's only one exception. She's lesbian. So that's the only, so that, and she's not bi either. So we've only got that in common.
Okay.
And we shout at each other now and again. But generally, because I used to think that because I know bare girls, and I'm not talking about girls I've done a thing with. I'm just mean just girls in general. Being a PT, you're gonna meet people plus other PTs as well. But the thing is, I can kill time with a girl, but I don't. It's very rare I spend time with a girl if there's nothing physical going on. So what I mean by that is, if I'm with my colleagues or anything like that, and I say, do you want to go Wagamama's quickly because we got a 3-hour gap?
Okay, that's different. Yeah.
We're killing time together. We go for breakfast. We're killing time together. We get a coffee. We're killing time because we both got a break.
Okay.
So, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, let's meet on a Saturday to chat, unless, because I'd rather, if I do have that downtime, because I struggle with that, I'd rather meet the man them and chat about football. That's just being real. So men want to be around that. So when they do that, they're just gassing.
Okay. Fair enough. Anyway, I mean, I guess it depends what you've been around, innit? Like what you've seen. So I've seen where men and women can be friends. So
Yeah.
Right, go on, your last question.
Last one, yeah. Do you think it's fair that men care about body count?
That is
This is gonna rustle a few feathers still.
I think, okay. No, it's not fair. Because like, I think everyone changes. So let's say, for example, when you were younger, like you had as a girl, you might have gone through a hoe phase, this period, right? Yeah. But then you probably have gone through some sort of awakening. You know what? I've decided, you know what? I'm no longer do this, because you probably discover self-love or whatever, all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, you change. So I don't think the man should judge you because you are a changed person. Yeah. You can become a changed person.
See, the thing is with me now, I'm going to keep it real because, well, I hope my mum don't see this, but like, I've slept with a lot of girls that have had a man, and I'm not proud of it. Yeah. Sometimes I don't, and the reason why I'm bringing it up, because sometimes they don't even know. I don't even know. They tell me after the fact. Right. Because it's their slight behavior. And girls generally cheat on beta males with. So
this is when you was a beta?
No. Oh. They didn't. No, they didn't cheat on me.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. I thought you said that the girls were cheating on with a beta male.
No, they were cheating
on their beta male.
They were cheating with me.
Okay.
On their partner.
Yeah.
So, and that's not the thing, because I know girls that live the party life. I'm gonna be respectful. They used to live the party life, and they want to give it up, but they struggle. And the thing is, their lady friends don't even know. You know how many times there, especially in my gym, there's girls that I've done a thing with, their own friends don't even know how they are behind closed doors. So, but their friends would be, oh, she's lovely. Bro, she slept with 6 men this month. But they wouldn't know that.
Well, that doesn't make her not lovely, though.
No, but in that respect of, oh yeah, she's looking for a man. That don't sound like someone that's looking for a man.
Okay.
That looks like someone that's trying to catch a beat. So and the thing is, as I've said, girls have told me after the fact, because I would never chase a girl that's got never ever. Guys, don't do that. And and the thing is, she has a conversation. So you remember when I said, like, I don't know if I sent you a video. I'll send you the video later. But basically on the video, I say beta males tend to be naive. Men live in the real world. So alphas live in the real world. So women can confide with alphas and have a conversation, and they can talk about the waste man and the simps and all these type of things with the guy that's alpha. But the reason why she doesn't have this conversation with the beta male and the simps is because she doesn't want to ruin their reality. Because if someone's a nice guy, she goes, oh, he's such a sweet guy, I don't want to spoil him. I remember there was this girl in college, and she thought he was good looking, but she didn't want to tell him anything because I said to her, you know what, I need to man him up. And she was like, no, don't spoil him, type of thing. But he's going to be unsuccessful in his life. You could do him a big favor. And I find girls don't want to spoil. So they say, you're nice and everything, but it's me, not you, all that type of thing. So when it comes to the body count, I'm actually more lenient than guys. Like most guys would disagree, because most guys would be like, yeah, if it's more than 4, then boom. But I'm like, that's not realistic. Again, we don't live in traditional times. Yeah. But I don't also want a girl that's had a whole phase. especially if she's got if she had a name for herself, she's already respectfully tainted, because guys are proud people where they're meant to be.
Yeah.
And when they got a girl in their arm, they don't want someone that everyone, yeah, I've had that before. Like, they don't want all of that. That's the most embarrassing thing. And the thing is, the reason why I brought up the traits before is because I find that when women got traits, what they look for a man, it's a list this long. It's 30 things. Let one guy say you got one trait, all hell will break loose. Yeah. So the thing is, when men are attracted to a woman, or in women in general, they just think they adapt. So if a woman if all women banded together and say, you know what, we like men that wear green suits, I guarantee every man will cop a green suit, because we adapt. Whereas if it was the other way around, they would complain and say, well, I'm not wearing a green suit, why should I? And it turns into that. Whereas men adapt. We just say, you know what, we ain't got time for the messing about, okay, I'm gonna get a green suit because this works. You know what I mean? So when it comes to the body count, the sleeping around and everything, the girl rarely, she always thinks about her good times, because I've been with girls that have done coke in front of me and all kinds of madness, and then they can't do that in front of their partner. Now, I don't do that stuff. That's their business. Go out the Henny, oh, he doesn't know I drink, like that, you know what I mean? Now she's doing shots, you know what I mean? Like, it turns into a madness. So what I'm saying is that she leaves the beta male naive. Yeah. And then she'll cheat on him with a guy that she can just be herself with. Because when girls give that up, sometimes that's their natural self. So the reason why they did that in the first place, because they were having fun. It takes something crazy for them to really be like, nah, like maybe being born again or something like that. But a lot of them, they never really give it up. From time to time, it comes out of them, just not when the beta male's around. And that's facts. So
interesting.
Yeah, so there's something I was meant to say. Oh yeah, so the body count thing. The reason why I say it's different for men and women, I'm not as traditional in the sense, because I'm realistic, and it all depends on your age as well. Because if a woman, because I just had to be realistic. I'm not trying to simp people, but if a woman dates one man a year, that's nothing. She dated one man a year, and it went for 3 months, 4 months, and then it fizzled out. If she's 30 and she's had 10 partners, I don't think she should be slewed for that. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
So, and the reason why it's different for men and women, because it comes down to strength. Women have strength too. You got feminine strength and masculine strength. Yeah. Women, alpha women, want to be the strong, like trying to compete with us. But you don't understand that that's not what we're looking for. Yeah. It's like, imagine if I started crossing my legs in front of women and being feminine, you wouldn't rate that. But imagine if I said, you know what? That's out of order. I want to cross my legs too. Why can't I cross my legs? It's like, you can do what you want, but if you don't get the outcome of women that you want, that's on you. We can all be what we want. That's the thing. But just don't be pissed off at the outcome. Yeah. And that's my thing. Now, the difference between men and women when it comes to, because a lot of guys can't explain this, and I'm going to explain it. So the difference between men and women when it comes to sleeping around is that for a man to have many girls or to get girls, he has to be somebody. That takes work. Because girls always mess around with the same 20%. Okay. So they don't mess with Joe Bloggs over there. They don't even know him. So it takes a man to become somebody, whether he worked on himself in some kind of way, groomed himself, whatever it is. But for a woman, she can get sex tonight, even if she's a 5 out of 10. Her strength is in resisting. So a man's strength is in getting, a woman's strength is in resisting. And not many people understand that. And before I get attacked or anything, there's women that actually think like that. They're like, no, I've got a client, she's beautiful, easily a 9. And she's like,
do you not give people a 10? I've never heard you say a 10.
Nah, I can't give a 10. I don't believe in perfection. Okay. So, but she's a cute girl, everything like that. We get on, we've got a professional relationship, but we have conversations. And she's like, you know, it's not until, but she's Muslim anyway, but she's like, it's not until I know for sure that it's going somewhere that I'll actually sleep with him. That's her level. And if it happens before that from other women, that's fine. I'm not going to think. But what I'm trying to say is that there are women that think like that. So before I get cursed out, just know that it might not be your friendship group, but there's girls out there that is normal to them. So a woman's strength is in resisting. Not if you like the man. I'm not talking about that. But I mean like just giving it out to different random men. Yeah. That's what I mean. So because the thing is, you've got the pick of the bunch. Women own sex, men own relationships. They own getting married. We're in charge of that. Women are in charge of who they decide to let them take some, you know what I mean? So That's why the dynamics are different. There's going to be some, I'd have to write it down and think, but there's going to be some double standards. Double standards need to exist for you to have a healthy relationship. There's going to be some double standards that suit the women. There's going to be some double standards that suit the man. And that's the way it is. Maybe the next time I come here, I'll write them down and then you'll see, okay. Because as soon as we say something, a lot of women, because I'm a man, they say, oh, well, that's not fair. But then if I bring up 6 things that suit you, all of a sudden the room's gone quiet. Yeah, so it's all about the yin and yang. It's all about the dynamics. Relationships need dynamics. You're not supposed to be the same human being. I can't like you for your breasts and then all of a sudden you like man for a breast. No, the attraction level is different. You like the man for something else. Maybe it's his arms, maybe it's his abs, or whatever the case may be. But everything is an imbalance that eventually gets balanced out. But we're not the same like that.
Okay.
That's where the attraction comes from. Cool.
Interesting. I like all these questions at the end. Well, guys, if you like this, then obviously share, comment, all of that, and even maybe leave in the comments what questions you have for us, so then we can bring Deck back on and talk about it again.
No, that's cool, man.
Thank you for coming on.
Pleasure.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you guys so much for listening and tuning in, and Joe, just show us some love, share everything. Love you lots. Bye bye.
Peace.